Hello, 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 hello. Please confirm that you can hear me. Thank you for confirming. Let's give people probably like 2 minutes to join. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you all joining us in this session. For those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Sawyer, and this channel was created for the purpose of supporting those that want to register. In this channel, we talk about anything related to engineering registration, and career growth as a whole, especially for those that are in South Africa. I want to make a request. If you are here or you are new in this live session, I kindly request that you click the follow or subscribe button, whether you're on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube. Please just click the follow or subscribe button. In this channel, we share very informative, helpful information to guide you through your registration. And those that have been joining us for the various live sessions, I welcome you back. I'm sure you have been gaining a lot from previous sessions that we have been having. Today, we are going to look at something very interesting. In our last session, we said that we are going to look at a practical example. So today I'm going to take you through the ECSA application form for those that wants to register as a professional technologist. Though it's going to focus on those that want to register as a technologist, but it's not limited to them only. Even those that want to register as a technician or engineer. But the form is going to focus on those that want to register as technologists. We can't cover everything within this 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. So we need to be able to break it down to be able to guide you through the process and help you in terms of your registration. By the end of this session, there are about 4 things that you are going to be able to learn. Number one, you need to understand exactly what is ECSA. It's very important that you understand that, because some of you probably want to register with ECSA but don't understand what ECSA is all about. Number two, we are going to look at how the self-portal works. The reason why I want to go back there is so that those that want to create a profile, they are able to do that. And those that want to probably register as a candidate, they can be able to do that too. Number three, I'm going to take you through a practical example on how to complete the form section by section. Then the fourth thing will be common mistakes that people make. It's very important that you understand that so that you can be able to know how to avoid those mistakes. Then the bonus part, which I think many of you will want to see, is questions. I'm going to try and tackle questions from all of you as much as possible. And if your question requires more time, we will probably have a session that is offline to be able to tackle your question. So you can see that our session is quite detailed and very comprehensive. Who is this session for? This session is for those that have a BTech in engineering. If you have been working probably as a candidate, or you have been working for many years and you are wondering how you can actually put your application together, this session is for you. This session is also for those that have been working probably in consultant, have been working as a contractor, working also in government, local municipality, district municipality, and government departments. It doesn't matter wherever you have been working. The example we are going to use is for those that probably have been working in government. The reason why I took that one as an example is because a lot of applicants probably have been working in government and they are asking themselves, is it possible for me to register? The answer is yes. So if you can stick with us till the very end, you will realize how you can put your application together. The only requirement that you need is at least 3 years of postgraduate experience if you have a BTech. And then one more important thing, you need at least 1 year of degree of responsibility. Then you are eligible to register. Before we go further, please note what I'm going to show you today is for demonstration purposes. It's a complete form which I'm going to project, which I'm going to show on my screen. However, this is not an active application or a previous application for someone. However, the structure to which it has been written is the way it's expected of you to write. So this information has been made up. This information has been created for the purpose of educational demonstration. Of course, some of the names might be relevant, some of the institution might be relevant, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those people which are indicated there in the application are actually working in those entities. It's all for demonstration purposes. Additionally, it's important to understand that the ECSA process or requirement changes from time to time. And it's always important that you go back to the website for you to be able to get the latest information. If you recall, our first session that we had, the live session we had in April, we were using a different form. It will be surprising to understand that the form has actually changed. So it's important that you always go back to the ECSA website to ensure that you get the latest form, you get the current form, and you get first-hand information. So if I mention something that probably you have seen might have changed in recent time, please inform me. However, I've made efforts to ensure that I verify the information to be as current as possible. So what we need to ask ourselves, as I indicated, is what is ECSA? ECSA stands for Engineering Council of South Africa. It is a statutory body that regulates the engineering profession in South Africa. Think of ECSA as a body like for those that did medicine, that regulates those that are doctors, or the law society that regulate those that did law or lawyers. If you want to legally be recognized as a professional engineer, professional technologist, professional technician in South Africa, the only body you can go through is ECSA. No other body, no other shortcut. You need to go through ECSA. And what does this mean? Let me give you 3 reasons why you should actually register with ECSA. Reason number 1, legally, certain work cannot be completed or cannot be done or signed off except you are professionally registered. Without registration, you cannot put your signature or certify certain work. That's number 1. Number 2, financial benefits. A registered person, of course, in most cases, earn more than those that are simply not registered. Even if you have many years of experience, however, being registered add more benefits to you towards financial gains. Many employers have special allowance for those that are registered, and some contractors or some contracts require someone who is registered within that team. Number three, professionally, being registered, it proves that you are competent because you have gone through the process of peer review by someone who is registered. That is the third reason why you should register. So, with these three reasons that we have looked at, you can see that there's a lot of benefit for you to register. Now, ECSA has got three main categories for registration. Number one, or let me categorize it as category one, professional engineers. It's the same as PREng. You need to have a 4-year degree or BEng or a BSc degree. We are not talking about professional engineers today. Category two, which is what we are focusing on, professional engineering technologists, PREng Tech. You need to have a BTech or BEng Tech. This is for those that have a BEng Tech or a BTech. Number three, or category three, is professional engineering technician. Those that hold a national diploma or a diploma. We are not focusing on that today. We are only focusing on those that are going to register as a technologist. However, the information shared is relevant in one way or another for those that want to register as an engineer, a technologist, or a technician. All right. Now, let's talk about the minimum requirement for those that want to register as a PREng Tech. As I mentioned, you need to have a BTech or a BEng Tech from an accredited institution. Remember, in our previous live session, we looked at if you are not from an institution that has a qualification that is accredited, what do you do? We are not going to talk about that today. We did in our previous session, but probably in our next we'll look at it again. Number two, you must have a minimum of 3 years. You need to have a minimum of 3 years post your qualification. Then number three is 1 year of degree of responsibility E. Degree of responsibility E. So I also want to mention briefly that if you are probably having a qualification from an institution that is not accredited, we have what you call the alternative route. That route is available. However, those that are going to apply for the alternative route do not apply via the portal. They apply via sending their documents to ECSA via email. Today, we are only looking at the standard route. It means you have a qualification from an institution that is accredited, you meet the minimum requirements, you are not applying for a category that is above your qualification, you are applying through the normal route. All right. Now, I'm going to share the ECSA website so that you understand the process of how you should apply via the portal. If you are not familiar with the website is www.exa.co.za. And for you to register, you have to go through the what you call the self-service portal. You click there. All right. So for registration purpose, you have to click registration. If you want to register as a candidate, you then have to click there. If you want to register as a professional, you have to click there. So I know some of you have been contacting me to help you in terms of candidates. You don't need anyone to assist you in that because it's a very straightforward process. All you need to have is your certificate or letter of completion. You, of course, need your ID, and then you have to make the payments. That's all you need for candidate registration. For professional registration, you need to create a profile, sorry. All right. So those that don't have a profile, you have to click become registered for you to create one. However, I have one, so I will just capture my information there. So if you don't have any, you click here. If you have one already, you put in your username and then you put in your password. So you put in your email address, you put in your ID number or your passport number, you select a password or create a password, then you enter the code, then you say register. Then you will receive an email that indicates that you have been registered or not. If you have any issue in terms of you might have created an account many months ago and probably you don't remember your password or you don't remember your username, please contact ECSA. They will be able to reset the information for you. That is very straightforward. So now the next thing we are going to do is go through the different sections of the application form itself. The way we are going to look at it, as I mentioned, will be focusing on how you should complete the form itself, how you need to complete the form itself. And as I indicated, this is for educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. So let's assume you have been working at a local municipality, and let's call that municipality Mfulen Local Municipality. And you have been working for 5 years. Your role has been an operation and maintenance technologist. Let's assume that that is what you have been doing. The reason why I'm giving that example is so that it's easier for us to understand how we should complete the form. All right, I'm going to share my screen again for you to see the form itself. All right, in my first video on TikTok, we said let's start with what you call the summary of experience and training. The reason why it's always good for you to start there because it gives you a perspective of how you should map out your experience. If you have been working for 5 years and you have been progressing in terms of responsibility, in terms of promotion, in terms of the kind of work that you have been doing, it's always good to have it captured first in your summary of experience or summary of training. For example, we mentioned that this applicant has been working for 5 years. Period one indicates that from 2021 February to January 2022, they were working as a civil technologist. And their role was to focus on operation and maintenance of roads. And the degree of responsibility, if they assess that period, they would say that the highest degree of responsibility they had in that period is C. Then period two, they were working, of course, on various projects. However, the highest degree of responsibility is category D. So that enables the applicant to demonstrate progression from C to D. Then period three, now they are looking at road rehabilitation program and their degree of responsibility is E. Then period four, where they are now senior civil technologists and their degree of responsibility is E. So that enables them to map out their experience over the 5-year period. So, as we have indicated, they have been working for 5 years, 3 months, and we have indicated that degree of responsibility. Let's assume the name of the applicant is Ngosi. And we said period one, they've been working from February 2021 to January 2022. The position they were holding, please note, by position held, I'm not talking about the position to which you were employed at. You might have a position within that period, or you might have a position within a project. In this case, the applicant works on many projects, and their position in all those projects is civil technologist. So we say that civil technologist. Then the organogram says you need to show, I didn't show the organogram here. However, the organogram expects you to show 2 levels above you. It means you show your supervisor and you show the person to which your supervisor reports to. I hope that is still clear. Now, let's look at the nature of training and experience. The nature of training and experience. Here we said the applicant is looking or is under operation and maintenance. I know you are not answering question yet, but can you please record? Yes, I am recording, so be rest assured I will share the recording. The nature of training and experience. What is the training I'm actually getting within that period? Conducting conditional assessment and prioritizing repairs of potholes, defect, or surface cracking for a 87-kilometer municipal road within that local municipality. So you see, the training that the applicant is gaining in period one, there is conditional assessment and how to prioritize projects. That is the experience that they are gaining. You capture it like that. Then the second thing you need to capture is the nature of problem. What is the problem you are addressing? Remember, we said a problem can be a problem within a project or a problem that is a project. Like in this case, the problem is the condition of roads within that municipality. Please note, I'm not saying that this municipality has that problem. This is just an example. They are having roads that are in poor condition. They have potholes, they have cracking surface. This can be anywhere within South Africa. It can be on national road, it can be on local road, provisional road. So it can be anywhere. So the problem here is backlog of maintenance of infrastructure. Then I was tasked with developing a prioritized pothole repairs and resealing program for the annual road maintenance budget allocation. So you have a budget that you need to spend on maintenance of infrastructure. Now, your task is to prioritize or develop a priority of how to execute the maintenance of those infrastructure. How do you do that? Of course, for you to prioritize that, it means that you need to go out to perform conditional assessment and say what kind of maintenance is required for you to be able to execute it. What will you do? You will conduct a visual road assessment or a visual road conditional assessment for the full network. Why? For you to be able to know what kind of repairs you need to do, you need to perform an assessment. You are now outlining the method of analysis. How are you analyzing the information? How do you gather the information? Then you will then record the pavement defects. What are the pavement defects? Is it cracking? Is it potholes? Is it edge break? Is it stormwater? Whatever defect that you see, you capture it. The reason why you capture that, so that when you are now performing the implementation of the project, you are able to indicate what kind of remedial action you have to perform. Then what do? You also indicate the location. You also indicate the severity of the defect in terms of COLTO. You will use COLTO to be able to score what kind of repairs you need to perform. You then analyze the condition data and generate a priority ranking maintenance program. You will group it in terms of emergency repairs, potholes. You will group it in terms of planned repairs, or you will group it in terms of just monitoring. Potholes need to be addressed immediately. Then you need to also say, okay, I'm going to plan repairs on this road because probably in the next maybe 3 months or 4 months, the condition might be worse. So I need to plan maintenance. Or the condition of the road seems to be fine. However, I need to monitor it to be able to say what needs to be done. Then I identified that about 14 kilometers of road require emergency repairs. 28 kilometers require planned reseal. And then 45 kilometers requires monitoring. What do? You then plan the maintenance program and present it to your manager or supervisor for review. This prioritized approach maximizes the impact of the limited budget by directing resource to the highest risk defect first. Remember, you don't have unlimited budget. You have a budget that is limited. Therefore, you need to prioritize it. You address the potholes, you address planned repairs, and then you address monitoring. Before we proceed, let me explain what this column refers to. The column for reference to the outcome in the engineering report. What that means, it means that which outcome is this responding to in your engineering report. It's very important that everything that you write links to what? links to a outcome in your engineering report. If it doesn't link to any outcome, do not include it. It needs to link out with an outcome in your engineering report. Now, let's proceed. Management of material, management of material, machines, manpower, and money, which is budgets and contracts, depending on the contracts that you are looking at. Now, if your contract is GCC, you will indicate what contract am I using. Now, what are you expected to say here? You need to indicate what is the approach to which you are going to use in terms of managing material, machine, manpower, method, or money or contract. For this example, I manage the road maintenance crew of 9 people, 1 foreman, 8 laborers. It means that you have a team. You are performing the maintenance internally as that local municipality. You are not using external service provider. You are using what you call internal resources. So it basically means that you need to explain how you manage the people in terms of executing the work. I prepare a monthly material requisition for hot mix in terms of that material, bitumen, and through the municipal supply chain management system, I then procure that material. Or if you have procured it previously, you are able to take it from wherever it's stored. I track expenditure. I track expenditure against the allocated budget and report monthly to the road manager or supervisor. So you are basically outlining how you manage the team, how you manage the manpower, and how you manage the budget, and ensure that you report to your supervisor. So I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. All right. Now, the next thing that we need to look at is interaction with clients, stakeholder, and other discipline. I responded to the ward councillor and community in terms of the road defects complaint. So you are interacting with the councillors. You are interacting with the councillors. You are interacting with the community. And what do? You prepare an investigation report in terms of the defect, which you've already done during your conditional assessment. I attend to monthly infrastructure portfolio committee meeting, and the which is held or chaired by the road manager, and you, as the person who is operation and maintenance, you then produce or report the progress that you make. And you also liaise with the municipal traffic engineering sector. Why? Because when performing these repairs, you need to ensure that you monitor traffic. You need to ensure that you monitor pedestrian movement. So you are basically explaining how you interact with stakeholders, which is the councillors. You interact with a client who is your supervisor, interact with other discipline. In this case, is the traffic department. Is the traffic department. So now the next thing we look at is what health and safety. I prepared a job risk assessment for the road repairs activity, including traffic accommodation requirements. Why? Because if you are going to work on a project, you need to manage traffic. You need to ensure that you do not cause nuisance or problem to the community or to the public. So you need to put together a traffic accommodation plan. Nombilo, thank you. I see you said this relates to what you are doing. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Then the last part is describe your role and responsibility. I was responsible for planning and the day-to-day execution of the road maintenance program. That is your role. I conducted conditional assessment independently. I managed the maintenance crew. I tracked the budget with formal program approved by your supervisor and reports to the client. In this case, your supervisor is your client. Then you also prepare monthly report. I made day-to-day engineering judgment in terms of the method of repairs the team needs to deploy. Of course, the team might have an idea, but it's your responsibility, someone who is overseeing them, to ensure that they perform the work correctly. And in this case, the degree of responsibility, as we have mentioned earlier, is degree of responsibility C. It means I was participating with limited supervision. I was participating with limited supervision. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. All right, let's take one or two questions before we proceed. Let's take one or two questions before we proceed. Okay, we have no question on. I can't see any question on YouTube. I can't see any question on YouTube. Let's take question from TikTok. All right. One question. Okay, it was a comment. I know you said you are not answering question at the moment. Please record. Thank you. I will record. I have it. One person said it's crazy that to recent profile login name you have to call ECSA. Unfortunately, you shouldn't be calling ECSA. You should email them if you're having an issue, or you should say reset password. I think one of the two should work. If you have issues with reset password or say forgot password, you can send them an email. Nombilo says that this is relating to my position completely. I'm happy to hear that. Okay. How do you structure the TERs if you are doing more than one project? Remember, I said when you're doing more than one project, you need to select a project or a program. For example, if you're doing pothole patching, You can't group it as a project. You might group it as a program because you'll be executing portal patching in different places. However, if it's an upgrade and you are doing also pothole patching, I would use an upgrade instead of pothole patching. So it now comes back to you in terms of your degree of responsibility. If one project or program you are at a degree of responsibility D, and another one you are at a degree of responsibility C, of course it makes sense to use degree of responsibility what D instead of degree of responsibility C. In this case, for this example we are looking at, the applicant was at a degree of maybe A, B, and C. However, the one that would basically assist them towards registration is degree of responsibility C, which is this maintenance program, Perfectly outlined. No wonder there are no questions currently. Thank you, 700 online. It makes me happy to hear that. This is very helpful. I'm currently doing my TERs. I'm happy to hear that. Bongiwe. Where do we get the recording? I will post the recording on YouTube, and the reason why I might cut it on TikTok, because many of you, I know you're not going to watch a 1 hour recording on TikTok. So I will have to cut it into pieces for you to be able to watch it. But if you watch it on YouTube, you will see the whole video. And if you do that for me, I'll be very happy. Nombilo says that if most of the positions you were in was as a technician and less fall as a technologist. If, for example, you were working as a technician during that period, meaning that you had not obtained your qualification as a technologist, the best thing would be to register as a technician. However, if you have already 3 years post your technologist, even if that work you were doing was as a technician, you can still report it as a technologist. I hope you understand. What I'm saying is that you were doing your BTech while performing this work. However, now you have completed 3 years post your BTech. It doesn't mean that the experience you obtained while you were still under technician, you cannot report it. You do report it. You will report it as a technologist. I hope I've answered you, Nombilo. Please confirm. Then the other questions: can I apply with advanced diploma in construction management? Does your advanced diploma says construction management, or you are saying construction management because of the modules that you took? Because what I understand is that when you graduate, you actually get, maybe, for example, you will get a advanced diploma in civil engineering, then they put brackets structures, or they put brackets construction management. If it's still civil engineering, then you can register with ECSA as a technologist. Will ECSA accept TERs completed on the... No, you need to use the latest form. The reason why you need to use the latest form: number one, the information on the latest form might have changed. Number two, some of the outcomes in terms of technologies, you in the old form, maybe you have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4, and the new form doesn't have 1.4. So you will be responding to something that is not in the new form. So please use the latest form. It's very simple. Copy from the new form, from the old form to the new form. So that shouldn't be difficult. Nompilo says it's perfectly clear. All right, can we proceed now? Thank you very much. Can we proceed? Can we proceed? Can we proceed? Can we proceed? All right, now, can you see my screen? Please confirm. All right, thank you. You can see my screen. All right, now, what I explained in period one is identical. However, the degree of responsibility has increased. Degree of responsibility now is degree of responsibility D. I need to put this disclaimer again. This information doesn't necessarily mean that this local municipality is facing this problem. I don't want anyone to sue me. So, and the names of the people here, registration number, are just for educational purposes only. All right, period two. Now, period two, let's look at the nature of training and experience. The nature of training in period two is conditional assessment and prioritizing refurbishment of 6 municipal community facilities. So you are working at the municipality. In the previous example we looked at, we said they were focusing on roads. The reason why I am using this kind of infrastructures is because those are the kind of infrastructure, those that are working under operation and maintenance phase. So using it will be able to guide them to say, yes, I'm working for the local municipality, but I can still register. I can still register. So you have 4 community halls, 2 library buildings that you have to refurbish. So your training is conditional assessment of buildings and prioritizing the refurbishment of those buildings. Now, the nature of problem. What is the nature of problem? We have 6 community facilities that have suffered years of defect or deferred maintenance. Basically, what that means, it means that this community infrastructure has not been maintained for many, many years. For many, many years. So, what does it mean? Sorry, something happened here. Okay, let's proceed. All right, and they are actually having various kind of conditions of deterioration that needs to be addressed. I was assigned to assess all the 6 buildings and develop a refurbishment program within an allocated budget of 4.2 million. So you have these 6 infrastructure that you need to maintain, and budget is allocated for you to do that. What will you do? The method of analysis. I conducted a structural conditional inspection of each and every infrastructure. The reason why you need to do that, so that you can be able to tell your team what kind of maintenance they need to do. You assess the roof structure, you look at the external walls, the floor, the drainage system, ablution facility, against national building regulation. I identified that two buildings with structural roof concern requires urgent attention. Four building with non-compliance ablution facility under SANS 10400. I prepared an individual building conditional report. The reason why you do that, you had to put together some form of maintenance or refurbishment report for the whole program. So each infrastructure, you need to indicate what kind of rehabilitation or refurbishment you need to do. Then a significant challenge was to develop the scope of works that could package within the CIDP grading. It means that you intended to use what? External contractors. You intend to use external contractors, and you intend to package it in a way that grade 2 can do this kind of work, grade 3 contractors can do that kind of work. Then I prepared technical specification for all the 6 contracts within the municipality using the SCM processes. Then the next thing is to manage material, machinery, manpower, method, and money. I prepared bill of quantity. Of course, for you to bring in contractors, you need to prepare a bill of quantity for the refurbishment of those infrastructure. I manage them using the municipal SCM tender process and administer the contract during construction. I directed the foreman and assisted in terms of the day-to-day project task. I monitor each contract against the budget. So we are basically explaining how you manage material, how you manage machinery, how you manage manpower. Please note, that is saying material, manpower, machine, method, and money. It doesn't necessarily mean that you manage everything. You will manage some of it, not everything. All right. Then interaction. Of course, you will have to interact with the community in terms of the usage of the library. You will have to interact with the community in terms of using the community hall. You have to interact with the library management team to ensure that you schedule construction at a specific time with minimum disturbance. I liaise with the electrical department to ensure that I coordinate electrical upgrade, and also with the civil team to ensure that the refurbishment scope is presented properly. I presented the refurbishment program to the ward councillor and also to the affected wards. In terms of health and safety, you will indicate saying, I prepared a health and safety specification for all the 6 construction contracts under construction regulation. You all know that we have to do everything under construction regulation and ensure that you also take into account health and safety. I conducted safety inspection on each and active site every fortnight. I ensure that the contractor has a safety file. So here you are basically explaining how you ensure that you manage all the activities taking place there. It's critical. It's critical. All right, now let's look at describing your role and responsibility. I led I led the full assessment, procurement of the community facility. Um, you manage the foreman, administer the activity, and you ensure that you exercise judgment in terms of developing a refurbishment scope within a procurement package. So in terms of that, you need to be strategic how you package that's sound judgment. That is sound judgment. If you don't apply sound judgment, you will not be able to package that. All right, let's answer a few questions. Let's answer a few questions. All right, I can't see any question on Facebook. I can't see any question on YouTube. I'm not sure. Can anyone confirm whether this thing is showing on YouTube? If someone does that for me, I'll be very happy. Just confirm because I can't see any question. All right, let's take questions here on TikTok. We have question here on TikTok. Nombilo say clear. How do you structure? I think I've answered this question perfectly outlined. Hence, I think we've looked at that. Where can you have answered that? Um, okay, advance. Okay, perfectly. Oh, God bless this soul. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nicely explained. Thank you. We can see you. I see you too. Sorry to ask here, but there are people messaging me privately asking for the YouTube link. I thought you should be able to. Let me confirm what's going on YouTube. Hey, I thought people are seeing everything happening on YouTube. Sorry, if you're not. That is horrible. Horrible. Do you know, on a serious note, nothing is showing on hey. Sorry, my people. If you are on hmm, sorry, my people on YouTube. uh, can you please confirm whether it's live now on YouTube? All right. Sorry. Um, can someone confirm for me whether they are able to see it on YouTube now? Hmm. Sorry, my people. I'm not sure what happened on the live session on YouTube. We might have to proceed without that live session. I'm very sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. I'm very sorry for that. You will have to watch the recorded session of of the YouTube. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. All right, let's proceed with um, let's proceed with the let's proceed with the. So from what we have explained so far, I hope it's clear. From what we have explained so far, I hope it's clear. Do you want me, because we are almost 1 hour, 10 minutes, and we still have a long way to go? Do you want me to proceed to the period 3, or we should go straight to the engineering report? Do you want me to proceed to period 3, or we should go to the engineering report? Should we go to the engineering report, someone? Okay. Someone said, let's go to period 3. All right, period 3. Let's go to period 3. All right, can you see my screen? All right, period 3 is degree of responsibility E. Degree of responsibility E. So the person is still working for the same organization. The nature of training and or experience is technical management of municipal infrastructure grant. So the applicant is responsible for managing municipal infrastructure grant. It's called MIG, and it involves reseal and rehabilitation of roads. So their training in this case is management of municipal infrastructure grant, MIG funds, for rehabilitation of roads, which involve resealing and rehabilitation. So the nature of problem, the problem here is the road requires rehabilitation. And how did you determine that the road requires rehabilitation? Remember, before you can indicate what kind of treatment or what kind of rehabilitation that needs to be done on a road, you as an official of government, it's your responsibility to perform the conditional assessment. It's your responsibility to perform the conditional assessment. And then it's also your responsibility to package the work to be executed. So this involve conducting maybe DCP. It involves identifying the most road requiring reseal only, is to perform assessment of what kind of failure are those roads experiencing. Is it sub-base failure, which requires restabilization before resurfacing? I then developed a rehabilitation design or develop a concept report in terms of what kind of treatment is required. Some of you might say that, but we use consultants to do this. However, as an official of government, you don't take the work of consultant blindly to say that the consultant said this, I'm going to accept it. No. Remember, you are responsible to defending the budget that you are spending, not the consultant. When the official of MIG, COCTA, come to you, they need to understand, why did you spend so much on this project? You need to be able to explain. When the councillors or the community want an explanation why you are spending so much, you need to be able to explain. So you cannot say, because the contractor or the consultant has said this, then I'm going to take that. No, you have a responsibility to be able to explain to the stakeholders. Now, management of material and management of machinery, manpower, and method. Here it involves determining or explaining how you manage the material, machinery, manpower, method, or money. I manage the municipal project team of 3 technologists, graduates, and foremen through the project. For example, you are executing a project. You might have some officials of government that are working within those projects. You, as the senior technologists, are responsible for managing those people in terms of the foreman working there, in terms of the consultant. You are responsible for managing the consultant. You are responsible for managing the whole project team. I administered the 22 million allocated for this project. So you are responsible for administering that budget and producing or processing payment certificates in terms of GCC. You are responsible for managing variation approval in terms of delegation of authority in the municipality. You are responsible for submitting monthly expenditure reports to COCTA on a monthly basis. So you are basically working as a conduit between the consultant and COCTA. So that is your function as a senior technologist. How do you interact with the community? You interacted with the community by communicating with political stakeholders in terms of including presentation of the rehabilitation program to the ward councillors. You coordinate ensuring that there is repairs taking place. You ensure that you also manage the reopening of those sections that are completed. So you are basically interacting with the community, the ward councillors, the municipality, and the consultant. Then, in terms of health and safety, I prepared and implemented health and safety specification, and under the construction regulation, I conducted monthly safety audit, of course, with a safety officer, and issued non-compliance or non-conformity a notice where they were shortcoming. So here you are explaining how you ensure that you take into consideration health and safety. Then lastly, degree of responsibility E, and explaining your role and responsibility, your role and responsibility, your role and responsibility. All right. Let's take a few questions. Let's take a few questions. Let's take a few questions. All right, let's take a few questions. Any question? Okay, the nicely explained, we've read that. Do you need to get all signatures again, or can previously signed TERs? I'm not sure when you say previously signed, are you talking about a person who has submitted but was not successful and has to resubmit? If you have to resubmit, yes, you will have to get new signature, because number one, the reason why I'm saying that you need to get new signature, except if that period has not changed. If you didn't change that period, then you don't have to get a new signature. You can include the old one. But if you are changing the project, if you are changing everything, it means that the person who signs it needs to read it for them to sign. So I hope I've answered that question. This is really helpful to us. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Is it possible to have different level of responsibility in one period? No, you can't. Even the form itself says tick one. So we need to learn to comply. You can't have more than one degree of responsibility, because remember the requirement says you, as soon as your degree of responsibility changes, you need to have a new period. So how do you have a degree of responsibility C and D within the same period? If you are having C and D, don't report C, report D. If you are having D and E, don't report D, report E. If you are having A on one project and then you have E on another project, report E, which is the highest degree of responsibility. I hope I've answered that. All right. The other question is: I am a consultant. I work on various projects with different managers. Will this be different? Um, I think I understand what you're saying. You are working within a period. Maybe you are working on various projects, and you are working with different managers. So your organogram will not be constant in all the projects. So remember, you are not reporting all projects. You are reporting a project or a program that is relevant to that period, that will be able to assist you demonstrate competency, that will enable you to demonstrate competency. I think I've answered that question in terms of organogram. If you are reporting one project or one program, then it means that you will only have one organogram. You can't have more than one organogram. I meant TERs already signed in the old. The TERs in the old one. Why don't you want to? Maybe if you give me, okay, maybe towards the end of this live session, I will bring you on board so that you can ask the question live. Because I don't think I understand your question properly. Can we wait for that session, please? Is there a problem if my organogram is there a problem if on my organogram no one is registered? No, you don't have to have people that are registered in your organogram, but your referees must be registered. Your referees must be registered. So I hope I've answered that question. We are almost going for 1 hour, 25 minutes now. I don't know whether you want us to proceed or we will have the engineering report in the next session, and let's answer questions live now. What do you propose? Because we are almost 1 hour, 30 minutes now. And I don't want to rush it. I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure that you understand this. The reason why I took time to use a practical example is to ensure that you understand exactly. If you are willing to wait for another 30 minutes, we can go through we still have period 4. Maybe we shouldn't do period 4. We should go straight to the engineering report. What do you say? ER. People are saying engineering report. I love to hear that. It means people are listening. All right, let's move. We will ask our questions at the end. Let's move to the engineering report, please. Let's move to the engineering report, please. All right. It's a interesting session today. I'm really happy. All right, we have period 4. I'm not going to talk about period 4 because I've explained it in period 1, period 2, period 3. Period 4 will follow the same procedure. And remember what I explained here in terms of reference. The reference here is basically used to link up with your engineering report. Which outcome is this meeting up with? A disclaimer again, this information doesn't necessarily mean that this budget is what the municipality is getting, or these are the challenges that the municipality are getting. It's situation that you might experience wherever you are working. So I used it as an example to be able to guide you in terms of filling out this report. All right, let's move to the engineering report. Before we move to the engineering report, some of you might ask me, who are those that complete the training and experience outline? The training and experience outline are for those who have more than 10 years of experience. More than 10 years of experience. However, the last 3 years must be the training and experience report. Let's take, for example, you have worked for 15 years. For 12 years. For 12 years, you will use the training and experience outline. However, the last 3 years, you will have to use the training and experience report. And that period must be degree of responsibility E for at least 1 year. Must be degree of responsibility E for at least 1 year. Is that clear? All right. Let's move to the engineering report. All right, this is the most important section of your submission. The most important section of your submission, because this is where you are demonstrating how you have met the outcome. However, take note, there is a limit to each and every sub-criteria. There is a limit to how many words you can use. The reason why there's a limit, of course, the assessors are not going to question or count the number of words that you use. However, that is used to be able to restrict you from writing long sentences or long paragraphs. And the limit for each sub-criteria is roughly about 100 words. About 100 words. So outcome 1 say define, investigate, analyze broadly defined engineering problem. Remember, technician focuses on well-defined engineering problem. Technologies focuses on broadly defined engineering problem. And then engineers focuses on complex engineering problem. All these are defined or explained in the policy. What is a complex problem? What is a well-defined problem? What is a broadly defined problem? We are not going to explain it in this session. However, if you want me to explain it in the next session, please do me a favor, comment in the comment section to say you will love to see that in the next session. You will love to see that in the next session. That will help in terms of me preparing for that to explain. Now, outcome 1.1 says, state how you performed or contributed in defining engineering problem leading to an agreed definition of a problem to be solved. Here, they want you to indicate how you performed or how you contributed in defining the problem. Remember, we looked at assessment, conditional assessment. It means you are contributing in terms of defining what the problem is. When performing the assessment, you are responsible for ensuring that you explain what the problem is. And in the process of performing that conditional assessment, you are also doing what? Putting together a solution to that problem. Let's take, for example, in period 3, we spoke about rehabilitation. I led the problem definition process by conducting a full pavement investigation using visual road conditional assessment. That is how you performed in terms of defining the problem or contributing to the definition of the problem. I performed DCP test. By performing DCP test, it might not be yourself performing the DCP test. However, you were the one that indicated in terms of the geotechnical investigation to be performed. So it was your judgment in terms of them doing that. You then did what? I synchronized the investigation data or investigated data. Remember, when you are investigating, you collect so much data. And in the process of collecting data, what do? You investigate or analyze that information to be able to then say what will be the solution. I synchronize or synthesize the investigation data to identify the failure model or the failures within the same road in terms of cracking, what kind of cracking am I seeing, and what kind of reseal is required. In terms of full structural base, what kind of failure am I seeing? What kind of solution am I going to propose? So you are explaining in terms of during your investigation, what did you see? How did it inform you in terms of developing a solution? I presented the problem definition in the pavement investigation report, reviewed by my road manager or someone who is an experienced person before performing a rehabilitation. In this example, I said rehabilitation design. It might not be necessarily a design A design might be in a form of developing a solution, or design might be in a form of performing calculations. So you have two options in terms of developing or designing a solution. Now, 1.2, state how you perform or contributed in terms of investigating. The reason why they say perform, because you might be performing or you might be contributing. State how you perform or contributed in terms of investigating the engineering problem. Including collecting organized information. I think we have spoken about this already. In terms of your investigation, this unfortunately is in terms of period 4, and we didn't speak about period 4, but here you are explaining that how did you investigate or collect the information. Please note something. You see outcome 1.1, it's period 3. 1.2 is period 4. The reason why it's like this is because sometimes you may not be able to achieve all the outcomes in one period. Hence, you need to indicate in this outcome, which period did I achieve this outcome? And it goes back to what we had said in terms of the reference column in the training and experience report. The training and experience report links to the engineering report, and the engineering report links to what? Links to the training and experience report. I hope that is clear. All right, let's answer maybe one or two questions before we proceed. One or two questions before we proceed. One or two questions before we proceed. All right. In a specific project, your level of responsibility increases B to E. Can I just use E? Yes. You use the highest level of degree of responsibility. But you cannot say, if you were to do it correctly, let's be honest, if you were to do it correctly, as soon as your degree of responsibility changes, you are supposed to break that period. That is what the policy says. However, to mitigate that, it's always advisable or advised that you use the highest degree of responsibility. More than 10 years after diploma or BTech, it depends on what you're registering for. If you are registering for technologist, it means that it must be 10 years post-technologist. It needs to be post-technologist. If you are registering for technician, then it needs to be 10 years post-technician. It needs to be post-diploma. I would love to see that in the next session, please. Thank you. I'm not sure what you would love to see, but I hope. Can I register if I have a national diploma? In our last video, I think about 2 weeks back, if I'm not mistaken, we looked at registering using the alternative route. I even spoke about it today, briefly in passing. So yes, you can register if you have a national diploma and you intend to register as a technologist, but there are certain criteria that you need to meet for you to be able to register as a technologist. I hope I've answered your question. All right, we don't have more questions, so we can proceed. Let's proceed. Still have a long way to go. All right. All right. Now let's move to outcome two: design or develop. You see, ECSA is aware of the challenges that you might come across in the process of registration. You might be working in an organization where you don't actually perform a design in terms of the normal way of designing calculations. You might be developing solutions. Hence, they say design or develop. If you are not doing both, if you are not doing a design and you're not doing a develop, then it means that you are not legible for registration. You need to be designing or you need to be developing a solution, one of the two. Now, here it says, describe how you designed or developed solutions to a broadly defined engineering problem. In period 3, the degree of responsibility E, for the 3 structural failed road section in period 3, I developed a foam butane in situ stabilization solution. So here you are saying how you developed a solution. You didn't perform any calculation. However, with your experience, you are developing a solution to say, okay, for this kind of problem, this is what I think you can do. Of course, it's always good to confirm using calculations. However, if you are confident, you can also use experience to develop a solution. You performed what? Full depth pavement treatments. You also performed reseal. You also performed stabilization in terms of 1% stabilization. So you presented 3 options. The first option is to use foam butane in situ stabilization, or you can use cement stabilization, or you can use rehabilitation of that road. So you are presenting various options that you will actually perform. And what did you do? You verified using TRH4. The reason why you need to always verify, you can verify using standards that municipality or that entity has developed, or you can verify using the codes that are available. In this case, is TRH4. All right. The next one that we are going to look at is 2.2. Indicates how you systematically synthesize the solution and look at alternative approach or solution to the problem by analyzing designs against requirements. So what you're saying here is that how did you look at various alternatives? Whenever you have a problem, you cannot only present one solution. The only way of demonstrating sound judgment is when you present more than one solution. Of course, I've heard people say that one of the solutions is to do nothing. If you have a pothole, can do nothing be a solution? Let's be honest. Solution can never be do nothing, because you are basically saying, let the problem continue. Let the community continue complaining. It cannot be a do nothing. However, if it's a routine, maybe monitoring, yes, at that stage, you are saying that you are doing nothing in terms of implementing a solution. However, you are still doing something in terms of monitoring the condition of that infrastructure in terms of maintenance. I'm not going to read all this because it will take us time. Then, in terms of 2.3, in terms of 2.3, states your part in drawing up a detailed specification requirement and design documentation for the implementation of that solution. So here they are saying that what was your contribution? How did you put together specification? How did you put together requirements for the implementation of that solution? I prepared all construction contract documentation. So you are explaining what you actually did, what is your contribution in this case, and that you did in period 3 and 4. Remember we spoke about putting together a bill of quantity. We also spoke about putting together specification. So you are putting together a specification that will be executed by contractors or might be executed by your internal construction team or maintenance team. All right. Outcome 3, comprehend and apply knowledge. 3.1, state what engineering principle. Here they want you to demonstrate what principle did you apply in terms of ensuring that what principle you executed or implemented in solving the engineering problem in terms of the theory. My practice area in civil engineering, operation and maintenance for the municipal infrastructure, I apply COLTO standards for road construction, TRH4 for pavement design, COLTO for visual road conditional assessment system. So you are indicating what standard, what system, what practice did you use. If it's stormwater, you will use a Sandral drainage manual. You will use SANS 100. You will use SANS 10400 in terms of building regulations for building infrastructure, and you will also use drainage manual for stormwater design if you are going to perform the design, and also you will use the municipal infrastructure standards that are developed within that municipality, because some municipality have their own standards that has been developed, so you have to comply with them. All right, I think so that we don't rush this thing, maybe let's end here for the engineering report so that I can give about 15 minutes to bring people online to ask questions. And then next week, Saturday, we will continue from outcome 3.2 until the end, because we have been online for almost 2 hours now. So do you accept that? Do you accept that? Yes. Thank you. All right, let's bring someone online. Let's bring someone online to ask. All right. Who will want to ask their question live? Please indicate in the comment section who will want to ask that question live so that I bring them. I would like to ask my question. If you can, I'm trying to find you, Mister, but I cannot see you. Is it possible for you to send an invite to join? Um, Not sure why I can't see you. Um, all right, please, when you join, before you ask a question, please try to mute. Uh, all right, let's start with Nombilo. Yes, Nombilo, please ask a question.
Basically, I'm calling to ask for people's. People are asking for your YouTube channel. They just want you to give them a broader information because some of them are inboxing me because I invited them. I shared the live with
Yeah,
them,
I'm
so
not.
now they're asking questions. So if maybe you can share a lot of your information because they are saying you are very helpful.
Okay. I don't know what happened to the live session on the YouTube channel because I can't seem to find what's going on here. Um, okay, let's do something. Let's do something. Let's do something. Um, sorry, sorry. Please give me a few minutes. Please give me a few minutes. All right, I think that might waste our time. I don't know what's happened here. Let me try again for the last time. Let me try for the last time. I hope it's working now. All right, I think we should be live now. I think we should be live now. Please confirm. Are we live? Okay, thank you. Finally, sadly, you have missed a lot of things, but you can still do me a favor. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I request of you to actually watch the videos. I will make sure I put the recording because I was recording. I'll put it up on YouTube. You will watch everything on YouTube. Um, so please, I sincerely apologize for that. But now let's take time to answer questions. I don't want us to continue with the form now because we have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover, and the way I was taking it is to make sure that you understand using an example, using an example. So yeah, Mister, I don't know why you can. Are you following me on TikTok? Maybe you're not following me, which is sad if you're not. All right. Is there any other one that wants to ask their question live? I know most of you are afraid to ask live. Please do not be afraid. We are all here to learn, and I'm here to answer. I don't want a situation where you then slide into my inbox and then send me a question while this is an opportunity for you to ask and get a first-hand response. So please, take advantage of this time. Take advantage of this time. Um, say I don't know what's going on. I cannot invite you. Let me try. I don't know. Maybe let me try this way. Sure. No, I can't see you. I can't see you here for me to add you. Can someone probably help him how he can send an invite? All right. Any other person that wants to? I send a request for a live interaction. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you are here. Sorry. I'm sorry for that. I can see you are right here. You are live now. You are live now. You are live now. All right. What's your question, sir?
Um, Thank you, Doc.
You are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Still muted.
No, I can hear you loud and clear now.
All right. My question here is related to the TARs. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes, previously I asked if the TARs that are compiled using the older template, as I saw yours, that it's a latest template.
Yes.
Looking at the effective date, I think it's dated April 2026,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and I used the old template, and as much as it's already signed, but it was signed during the time of this month, which is May now. May, April, March. Some were signed in March and some April, and then the last one was signed in May. So my question was that since you mentioned that I need to use the most recent template, do I still have to send it again to those supervisors for their signatures, or I can send along the already signed ones to support the new template?
Okay. At what stage are you at now?
Right now, I'm starting with my engineering report. Last week, I was busy trying to break down everything that will be needed. So I'll be starting whether today or tomorrow with my engineering report.
Okay, so
I'm
your
done
training.
with the TERs.
Okay, your
Only
training.
one that need to be signed. Yes.
Okay, your training and experience report has been signed, has been read and signed by the supervisors.
Yes, as much as not all of them. I think only two outstanding, but three of them are signed.
Okay, I think you can still use the that one if it's signed already, because generally signing is done at the end. Why did you get it signed um, before you finish your writing?
Uh, because what I noticed where the company I work for, people are leaving, so sometimes it will be difficult to get hold of those people because I as much as maybe I can use the person who will be at that position
Yeah.
for that moment, but that person won't be understanding
Yes.
what I wrote there. So
Okay.
for me, I didn't want to have those
Okay.
difficulties.
Okay. Okay. That's all right. I think you can include the one that has been signed already, just the training and experience report. But your engineering report must be the latest one. The reason why I say the engineering report must be the latest one because some things have changed in the engineering report. I noticed that some things have changed. So if you use the old one, it will create a bit of confusion with the assessors. So you don't want a situation where you you are not successful because of those kind of confusion. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, yeah, for now, all my questions are answered. I just had only that question.
Okay. Thank you. Um,
Thank
anyone
you.
anyone else? SC, I see you are online.
Yes, Doc. How are you?
I'm good, send you.
I'm good. I'm good. Just one question, just a quick one. I just wanna know here, based on my job and my responsibilities in the space I'm working on. I normally do root cause analysis only, but when it comes to fixing whatever that is broken and stuff, we normally don't go far as that one. So I'm asking because one of my TRs where I ended up on solutions was me giving recommendations. So I wanted to know whether would be that a challenge when it comes to ECSA.
Okay, when you say that you are not executing, you only okay. Somehow you can say you are doing. Okay, let me say where are you working?
Oh, okay. I'm working as a condition monitoring technologist. So what I'm doing is I'm analyzing the failures of the rotating equipment. So after I find a root cause or whatever, I give recommendations that guys do this and that and that. And then after they've done doing that, then I only come to check whether is there any improvement. Then I'm done.
Okay, but in your process of finding the root cause, you then package the work and then give it to contractors to come and solve the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing as what I've explained here. You have a situation where you are responsible for assessing, doing conditional assessment. You are responsible for making sure that budget is available to fix the problem. You are responsible for packaging the project to ensure that whoever comes in and solve the problem is it doesn't come just to solve one problem, is to solve a group of problem within that infrastructure. So you are basically doing almost the same thing as what I explained a few hours ago.
Okay, thanks, Doc.
All right.
All right.
All right. Any other person?
Hi, Doc.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Thanks, Doc. I just I have a quick question. Basically, for me, I did my BTech. I graduated in 2023, but now I just wanna ask this 3 year period, the post experience after that graduation. Do I have to really wait for the 3 years, or I can at this point in time, because I'm in road construction? So I never wanted to go for the technician, so I just want to go straight for the technologist.
How many years did you say you have post your BTech?
Now it's gonna be 3 years, but prior that I've worked since 2015.
Yeah, unfortunately, the experience that is being considered is, especially if you want to register using the standard route, is post your qualification, the benchmark qualification. And for big tech, the benchmark qualification is, sorry, for technologies, the benchmark qualification is BTech. So if you don't have 3 years post BTech, then you wouldn't be able, except you use another route, which is not necessary in your case because you already have a BTech. So my advice is um, either wait or register as as a technician and then upgrade when you have sufficiently. Remember, as much as you can have 3 years, but if you have been operating as a technician, you still cannot register as a technologist. So you need to assess the 3 years I've been working. Have I been performing the work of a technologist or I've been performing the work of a technician? You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's not automatic to say because I have
Yeah,
three
no, I get
years,
you.
I have 3 years, it means that automatically I'll be registered as a technologist. No. You need to assess your experience. Is your experience a broadly defined experience or is a well-defined experience? So my advice would be register as a technician, take time again, maybe 1 extra year to assess yourself. And because there are a lot of benefits you get by registering as a technologist, a technician, by being registered, let me say that. So you want to not to miss out on that in the process of waiting. So I would advise you to register as a technician and then upgrade.
Okay, thanks, Doc. Yeah, I think no, it's cool with me, but I work as a ARE on a national road project.
You mean assistant resident engineer?
Yes.
Okay. So that's fine. That's all right.
So I believe I might be capable of
You might be capable of what? You have not finished talking.
registering as a technologist. But I do take your advice, Doc, with this one of starting with the technician, and then probably after the 3 years or a year more than that, and go to upgrade for the technologist
Yeah.
registration.
Yeah. Me personally, I would say if you don't want to register as a technician first and then upgrade, I would say start writing now. Start writing as a technologist with the intention of submitting next year. Do you understand? start writing now with the intention of submitting next year.
Yes.
The year is almost over. So if you start now, maybe by December or January, you then submit by February, you are fine. But if you feel that you have not been working as a
Okay,
technologist,
thanks, Doc.
then I would say register as a technician, upgrade after a year. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay. All right. Next.
Hello, Doc. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. And you?
I'm good. Sorry, you answered my question, but my network got cut. I had a question in the comment section that stated that I was working for a consultant on various projects with different managers, and I was
Yes.
asking if these meant that I had to have different TERs because the organogram changes for each project.
Okay.
So I know that you answered it. I got cut right at the beginning of your answer.
Okay. The answer to it is that no, you will report on a project or a program that will demonstrate the highest degree of responsibility. For example, if one project you are working maybe at a degree of responsibility B, and then another program or another project you are working at the degree of responsibility D, it makes no sense for you to put B and D because the highest is D. So the organogram for D is what you are going to include in your submission.
Thank you very much, Doc. I think I'm covered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? We just have okay, we have
Greetings, Dr.
Yes.
and the panel.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, firstly, thank you for the platform and the outstanding work you've been doing, Doc, with our fellow colleagues and the candidates that you've assisted previously. I've been following closely. But my thing is, I would like to also be a part of the Bridge the Gap mentees or people that you mentor, because I am so clueless as to how would I go about structuring my report. I would want to work on registering as a technician.
Okay.
The thing, my primary problem is I haven't dealt with design per se. I've dealt with construction management, those components, root cause analysis, and all those sorts. I work in the sanitation reticulation or sewer reticulation.
Yeah.
But I am battling with structuring my report.
Okay.
So that's my main concern. It's the design component that I haven't got exposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You saw the example. I don't know when did you join us, but this example that I gave is an example of someone who does operation and maintenance. And from what you are mentioning, you are doing operation and maintenance in sewer. Sewer reticulation.
Sewer reticulation, that's correct.
Yes.
Yes, operation maintenance.
Yes. So basically you have the experience that I had because I was also working as an operation and maintenance, but I was a manager at one local municipality. So I'm talking firsthand. I understand what you're talking about. So the outcome doesn't say design only. It says design and develop. It says design and develop. So it means that you are developing when you are doing operation and maintenance, for you to be able to say this kind of maintenance is what you need to do here, you need to develop a solution. You cannot maintain something when you don't know what to do, what to solve. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, I follow. Yes, I get you.
So in the process of your maintenance, you would be developing solutions saying that, okay, maybe this kind of maintenance requires you to remove this pipe or reconstruct a manhole or check the diameter of that pipe. Maybe the capacity of that pipe has been achieved. It needs a bigger capacity because the flow has increased. So those are part and parcel of the maintenance work that you will do. And you cannot maintain without knowing what the solution is. Am I
Okay, thank you
answering
for
your
shedding
question?
light on that one. Yes, you are. You are answering it precisely. So
Okay, the first part you have asked in terms of
before
being,
maybe you
okay, continue.
is how then can one be a part of the people that you mentor or guide in relation to bridge the gap?
Okay, please send me an email. My email address is, or send me a message on TikTok, and then we will communicate further on how I can help you. But take note, the mentorship will not be anything less than 3 months, because the way I do my mentorship is basically having 2 sessions per month, where I'll be talking to you like this. We go through the forms step by step. I'll be explaining what you need to do. I'll be taking you through what you need to write, and how you should write it. That's the kind of mentorship. So it's not going to be less than 3 months, except if you have already started writing, and then we can say maybe to be less than 3 months, but 3 months should be sufficient. And if you want longer than 3 months, it's possible too. We can arrange that. So please drop me a message, and then
Appreciate it, Doc.
we can then discuss further.
Much appreciated. Thank you. It will be an honor. I'll do so. Bye.
All right, we have 35 people online now on what you call on TikTok. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I kindly request you search Bridge the Gap Engineer. Maybe let me show you where you should subscribe to. Please, let's just take 1 minute, all of us, to support me. Is that a fair request? All right, so you will type Bridge the Gap Engineer. I hope you're all doing it. Sorry. So if you will see the logo Bridge the Gap there. So please try to subscribe. I kindly request that support. If you do that for me, I'll be very happy. So click subscribe, then you will see I have playlist of the videos that I upload. This one is called Technician Masterclass. This one is called Ethics and Professional Practice. And then there are a lot of videos. Please try and watch them. I will really appreciate that. All right, anyone that wants to ask any question before we end our live session? Anyone? I have a question on YouTube. Say, on the same question, even if you are already registered as a technician, do you need a minimum of 3 years? Yes, you need a minimum of 3 years post your advanced diploma or your BTech. Yes, Lulu.
Where do I unmute? Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Greetings, everyone. So my question is based on the ER. I was previously told that you can answer outcome number 1, 2, and 3 with different periods, but I saw that today you actually said that we are able to.
Yes.
I just needed clarity on this, and that is also linked to outcome number 8, 9, and 10. So whenever you answered outcome 1, 2, and 3, with period 4, you must stick to
It depends.
outcome.
It depends. Okay, can I explain what it means?
Yeah.
For example, if you are working on defining the scope of works, but you are not involved in developing solutions, then it means you are only achieving outcome 1. And maybe in another project, you are now developing solutions. You can be able to use that. You can be able to use that too. You can be able to use that too for the purpose of what you call, for the purpose of outcome 2. So it's not wrong to use a different period for the outcome, for outcome 1, and a different period for outcome 2. It all depends on the kind of work that you are doing. It all depends on the kind of work that you're doing. But generally, in common practice, whenever you are defining a problem, you are also responsible for developing a solution. So it's common practice. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you are wrong to use a different period for developing solution. Let's say my involvement in developing solutions or designing solution in outcome 2 is at a higher degree compared to what you did in outcome 1, in the period for outcome 1. Will you now say, I'm not going to use that period for outcome 2? No, it's not wrong.
Okay, noted. Thank you so
But
much.
do you understand what I'm trying to explain?
Yes, I do understand, especially with the responsibilities now that
Yes.
you mentioned that I can't then depend on the outcome that I was less responsible for.
Correct.
Whereas I do have another outcome that I'm more responsible for.
Correct.
It can give me a solid answer.
That's the mindset.
Okay.
That's the mindset. All right, TJ, what's your question?
Yo, how are you?
Yes, I can hear you, TJ.
I'm calling from Zimbabwe.
Oh, yes. Greetings from Zimbabwe. It was nice to have you.
Good, my brother. Okay. I'm a rigger, an artisan rigger.
Okay.
So I started doing shutdown from lockdown
Okay.
to up to now. So I'm doing my practicals trade testing in, they say, July or June or July. So along my practice, I have an interest in civil engineering as well.
Okay.
So I wanted, after I finish my practicals this year, I wanted to maybe the start of next semester, I wanted to enroll in NC. I wanted to do NC in civil engineering and water as well.
Okay.
So that I can.
Can we have that discussion maybe offline? Send me a message on TikTok. I'll send you my WhatsApp number. Then you can call me. You can discuss that. Is that fine?
All right, my brother.
All right.
No, that's perfect.
Okay. We have a question.
I just came across.
Yes. Continue.
I just came across you just now, and then I just liked the way you were expressing and letting others have a feel about the industry.
All right.
So that's how I got to.
All right.
To your and I also subscribe to your YouTube as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Please drop me a message on TikTok. I will guide you through the process on how to transition to civil engineering. We have a question on
Thank you.
on YouTube. The question says, "Sir, I am new to your community. Do you have sessions for people in more of management role, particular roles that require approval of engineering work?" So my understanding of that question is that the applicant is more on a senior role. They are not hands-on in terms of executing the work. So they have people under them, which is common, which is very common. So this example we looked at was more of someone who focuses on operation and maintenance. So what I'm going to do, maybe in the next subsequent videos, we will look at someone who has migrated, because you didn't just become a management role without growing through the ranks. So you grew through the ranks. You became probably a technologist, became a this, became a that, until you became a senior person. So in the next session, maybe in subsequent videos, we will address that, and I will use a practical example to be able to answer that question. I hope that is fine on YouTube. Thank you. All right, Stella, you have
Thank
a
you.
question.
Yes. Good day, Doc, and good day to everyone. Doc, first of all, I would like to appreciate the platform that you are giving us. We have spoken before on WhatsApp as well as on TikTok.
Okay.
I just wanted some clarity on something.
Okay.
With regard to outcome number 1, it says define, investigate, and analyze. So I just wanted to know, while you're still defining your engineering problem and investigating it, are you defining, investigating with a proposed solution, or you just defining the problem? You are not including a solution. You'll only talk about your solution on outcome number 2.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm making sense. And I'm asking from the electrical discipline.
Okay.
But I believe it would be the same even on the civil.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's a very good question. Generally, when you are analyzing a problem, you already start thinking of the solution. It's common practice. When, for example, you see a problem and you are thinking, how do I solve this problem? You gather information that, okay, this is what I'm thinking. So you are thinking about it, trying to see. The reason why it's important to be thinking of the solution while analyzing and investigating is because you need to know what are the information you need to gather. Because if you don't think about that, then how will you know that I need to gather this information, I need to collect this information? You will end up going out and coming back. So
Correct.
in practice, you generally will sit down and understand the problem as a whole, know exactly when I go to site, what am I going to collect? Why am I
Okay.
collecting this information? How is it going to help me? Then you start developing mental solution. However, in the outcome 1, you are not providing the solution. But in
Okay.
outcome 2, you now develop or design a solution. You start putting down the solutions, but you have already thought about it in outcome 1.
Okay. I think I'm answered. Just a follow-up question on that. Then it means on outcome number 1, there is no way where you will make mention of your solution, because the solution is there behind your you know
Yeah.
your investigation and your
Yes.
analysis.
Yes.
But is it, you are not supposed to mention it anywhere there?
Yes, and I think that's another reason why ECSA would have limits in terms of how much words you should use. Because just imagine if you start putting solution in outcome 1, you will end up having everything under outcome 1, because you start saying, okay,
Okay.
How do I articulate how I develop the solution? Then you say, how did I manage the activity in outcome 1? They are breaking it down because they want you to be able to fit in within the word limit and to be able to think through the process of what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, do we have any other question? I think I've answered all the questions. Thank you. I've completed my national diploma in 2016, completed BTEC 2018. Can I use work between 2016? Yes, you can use from from national diploma, yes, you can use all that experience. You can use all that experience because in the correct sense, you should have registered as a technician. But if you didn't register, you can use all that experience. Those that have registered as a technologist or a technician already, they just need to upgrade. So they will only add additional information. I hope I've answered your question, sir. User, there's no name, so I don't know what to say. User. Hi, Doc. Dumiso, Truman, you say hi. Greetings, Dumiso. We are doing it right now. Thanks for subscribing. And don't only subscribe, but also watch. 700 online. 700 online. You're asking the breakdown of my fees. If you send me a message, I'll give you the breakdown of my fees. But please note, the breakdown of the fees are different because there's mentorship breakdown fees and there's also for review of your report. The review of your report only focuses on what you call on reviewing the report itself. And then the way it's broken down, I break it down into TERs. The reason why I break it down into TERs and engineering report is because it would be unfair for both of us if I have a fixed fee for everyone, because there are people who have maybe 30 years of experience. It means that they will have many TERs. They will have a lot of TERs. And then if you are probably 3 years or 5 years, then you will have a minimum of 3 or 4, 5 TERs. I hope 700 I've explained. So it's slightly different on the breakdown. Doc, I finished my BTech in 2012. My issue is getting hold of my supervisor. If you cannot get your supervisor, you can submit an affidavit. But first of all, try by all means so that you don't write a wrong affidavit saying that you cannot get hold of a supervisor, while it's not the case. Try by all means to get your supervisor. If that doesn't work, write an affidavit. We don't have any other question on YouTube. We only have, I think I've answered all the questions. Thank you very much, people. If you haven't subscribed, I kindly request to subscribe. You watch my videos, you comment, you like, you share, you do everything. That's the only way you can support me. Just imagine we have been online for almost 2 hours, 30 minutes now, and I'm doing it for free. So the only thing you could do to support me is by sharing and watching the videos. I hope it has been a fruitful session. We have been able to answer questions. The next session next week will be continuing with the engineering report. If we have more time, we will look at a different example only of the engineering report, because I know that's where people have challenges. Once again, I thank you all for joining this live session, and see you in the next session. Thank you.